All right, thanks guys. Happy Friday to you. Now, do you really enjoy these videos? If so, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. I got you. I reeled you in. But anyway, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please feel free to do that right now as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. I actually feel very uncomfortable begging for likes and subscribes, but it seems to work, and I do really appreciate it, so I think it's mutually beneficial for both of us. But anyway, guys, pretty nice slate of college basketball action. Let's go ahead and dive into it. The St. Louis Billikens take on the Richmond Spiders. 6:30 p.m. Eastern tip-off at the Robins Center. Now, Richmond's the 1-point favorite at home. Totals 145 flat. And if you like the Billikens in a slight upset on the road here, they're minus 105 for an outright win. Now, we're 2-0 in our last two extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99 when you click the link in the description section below. Now, we currently have over 1,250 paid members who are signed up and active on that page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I don't know what you're waiting for. You're kind of missing out if you're not on there already. But the link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, St. Louis has played just one game since December 23rd. They also failed to cover the point spread in their last three straight. They're taking on a Richmond squad who's won 3 out of their last 4 themselves. And they also went 6-3 against the number in their last 9. Very respectable stat there. Now, the Spiders make over 48% of their field goals, and they average nearly 77 points per night. Blake Francis scores 17 points a game along with 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Francis has also recorded 21 steals on the season. Meanwhile, 6'10 senior Grant Golden is scoring 15 points a night along with 7 boards and 4 assists himself. Total-wise, Richmond is 4-2 to the over at home, 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with St. Louis. Meanwhile, the Billikens saw 7 out of their last 9 ball games get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Richmond Spiders, -1, and the over 145. And before we go ahead and move on here, guys, just want to take another quick time out and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Friday's college basketball action. Happy Friday to you. The weekend is finally here. Now, before we go ahead and dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just want to quickly remind you once again that we are 2-0 in our last 2 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to lock today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99 when you click the link in the description section below. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you're going to get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. So once again, when you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you're going to instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and my Patreon site, well, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 4 to 5 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success wagering on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus betting on every single game that's on the slate, side and total, like I do with my free leans here on YouTube. I'll tell you this much, I'll be honest with you, a lot of folks who are signed up on Patreon, they end up getting the board member package, and then all the picks that I give for that particular day, they have access to, and they end up just parlaying them. So I don't recommend that, but that's pretty much what everybody ends up doing. And speaking of everybody, we currently have a community of over 1,250 paid members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'd love to have you. The link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on here, guys, our next matchup, it's actually not on our big screen, but it is going to be Ohio versus Buffalo, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off in upstate New York. The Buffalo Bulls are -3 at home. Total's 160 flat. The Bulls are in the top 25 in the nation in scoring, top 3 in offensive rebounding. Buffalo scores 82 points a night, and they hold their opponents to just 27% shooting from beyond the arc. Jonathan Williams scoring over 20 points a game, along with 8 rebounds and 3 assists. Meanwhile, senior guard Javon Graves is also scoring over 15 a night himself, 7 rebounds and 4 assists a game for Graves. Javon's also recorded 18 total steals and 7 blocks. Now they're taking on an Ohio team kind of struggling on the road this season. They're just 1-4 straight up on the road, and they allow nearly 80 points a night away from home. Now the Bobcats are also letting their opponents make over 51% of their field goals when they travel as well. And when it comes to the total on this one, oddly enough, 2 out of Ohio's last 4 ball games did stay under the posted number. Meanwhile, 1 out of Buffalo's 2 unders on the season did come at home. I don't think the under is going to be a popular play, but I think it will stay under. I'm going to lean toward the Buffalo Bulls -3 and the under 160. All right, next contest, it is going to be Coastal Carolina versus Georgia Southern, 8:30 p.m. Eastern start time. The Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina are the 2-point favorite on the road. Totals 142, juice to the under. Now the Chants are on a 2-game winning streak, winners of 7 out of their last 9. Coastal is in the top 10 in the nation in scoring. They're also in the top 3 in offensive rebounding. The Chants are also drilling 41% of their 3 balls. Devontae Jones is scoring nearly 23 points a game, along with 7 rebounds and 4 assists. The junior from New Orleans has also recorded a staggering 52 total steals through 14 games. That's like 4 steals a game. That's incredible. He also drains 45% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, DeAnthony Tipler is also scoring over 16 points a night himself. 3 boards and a couple assists for the junior. Tipler's also making nearly 92% of his free throws himself. The Chants are taking on a Georgia Southern team who's failed to cover the point spread in 6 out of their last 9. The Eagles are also making just 31% of their three-pointers, and they failed to cover the number in 4 out of their last 6 conference games. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Georgia Southern's last 4 contests got over the posted number, throwing out one of the Southern Alabama games. They're also 3-2 to the over in their last 5 qualifying ball games at home. Meanwhile, 2 out of Coastal's last 4 got over the number themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers -2 and the over 142. All right, next matchup, kind of the marquee game of the night, and we're going to go into the Big Ten. I'm talking about Iowa versus Illinois, 9 p.m. Eastern tip at the State Farm Center, Now, the Fighting Illini, they're -2. Totals 161.5. And if you like the Hawkeyes winning this one outright on the road here, they're plus $1.10 on the money line. Now the Hawkeyes are 5-1 straight up in their last 6 ball games, 12-3 straight up overall for the season. Iowa's in the top 3 in the nation in road scoring, and they make 41% of their three-pointers when they travel. Luka Garza scoring 27 points a game, 9 rebounds and 2 assists for the seemingly guaranteed first rounder in the draft. Might be the first pick, who knows. But anyway, the 6'11 center is draining nearly 47% of his three-pointers, and he's recorded 27 total blocks thus far in the season. Meanwhile, Joe Wieskamp is scoring 15 points a game himself, along with 7 rebounds and a couple assists. I was also in the top 10 in the country in offensive rebounding. They're taking on an Illinois squad who's lost 2 out of their last 3. And they make only 67% of their free throws. They also failed to cover the point spread in their last 6 straight meetings with the Hawkeyes. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Illinois' last 6 contests actually stayed under the posted number. And surprisingly, 4 out of Iowa's last 6 stayed under the line themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the underdog Iowa Hawkeyes +2 and the under 161.5. I'll tell you what, anytime a team like Iowa's catching even a point, there's good value in that, in my opinion, of course. All right, next matchup, it is going to be some team called Robert Morris versus Wright State. Don't skip over this one, guys. This is an important one. 9 p.m. Eastern start time. Wright State's -14 with the total at 146, juice to the under. The Wright State Raiders are on a 3-game winning streak, 4-1 against the number in their last 5. The 11-4 Raiders are winning 77% of their games when favored, and they rank in the top 3 in the nation in offensive rebounding. Wright State scores 82 points a game, and they make nearly 50% of their field goals. Tanner Holden scoring 17 points a game for the Raiders, 8 rebounds and a couple assists a night for the 6'6 sophomore. Meanwhile, 6'8 senior Loudon Love is scoring 15 a game himself, along with 10 big rebounds and 2 assists. Love has also recorded 23 total blocks defensively, along with a dozen steals as well. The Raiders are giving up just 62 points a game on their home court, and they hold their opponents to just 28% shooting from beyond the arc. Now they're taking on a Robert Morris squad who's on a 4-game losing streak, and they also dropped 7 out of their last 9. Now the Colonials went just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 as well, and they find themselves allowing nearly 80 points a game when they travel. I'll tell you what, a team that's playing that bad, they can kind of sneak up on you. So don't go, betting the mortgage on this one, although I do like Wright State. But anyway, total-wise, Robert Morris, their last 2 straight both got over the number, 5-3 to the over in their last 8. Meanwhile, Wright State saw their last 2 get over the line themselves. Give me the Wright State Raiders minus 14 and the over 146. All right, next contest. It is a late one. I'm talking about Boise State versus Colorado State, 11 p.m. Eastern start time at the Moby Arena. The Boise State Broncos are minus 2.5 on the road. Total's 145. And if you like the Rams in an upset on their home court this evening, they're plus $1.15 for some money line cash. Colorado State is a perfect 7-0 straight up on their home court this season, 12-3 straight up overall for the year. The Rams are in the top 10 in shooting the 3-ball at home, and they find themselves scoring 82 points a night at the Moby. David Roddy scoring 16 points a game, along with 6 boards and 3 assists. Meanwhile, Isaiah Stevens is also scoring nearly 16 a game himself, along with 5 rebounds and 7 assists. Now, the sophomore guard is making nearly 90% of his free throws, and he's also knocking down 46% of his long balls. Colorado State is holding their opponents to just 25% shooting from downtown at the Moby Arena as well. They're taking on a Boise State team who failed to cover the point spread in 4 out of their last 7. They also lost by 22 to Colorado State just a few days ago. They were held to just 56 total points in that humiliation. The Broncos are making just 29% of their three-pointers when they travel. And when it comes to the total in this one, Boise 6-3 to the over in their last 9. Colorado State 60% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Colorado State Rams plus 2.5 and the over 145. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is not Cal State Fullerton. It's a game that's not on our board, but it is a game of interest. It's really late. It's at midnight. I'm talking about the mighty Anteaters of UC Irvine taking on the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, 12 a.m. Eastern tip-off on the island. Now, UC Irvine's the 2-point favorite on the road here. Not on the road, on the plane, you get what I'm saying. Totals 137.5. But despite being on a red-hot 6-game winning streak right now, I think there may be some problems for the Anteaters. They've lost 4 or 5 away from home this season. Just 62 points a game they're averaging as the official road team. UCI is also just 40% from the field on the road, and they make just 31% of their three-pointers when they travel as well. So having some problems offensively away from their home court. They're also giving up nearly 75 points a game as the road team as well. They're taking on a Hawaii squad who allows just 64 points per contest at home, and they hold their opponents to just 28% shooting the 3-ball in that same category. Now, James Jean-Marie is scoring 14 points a game for the Warriors, along with 4 rebounds. I say that because he's from Canada. Meanwhile, Justin Webster is scoring 13 points a night himself, along with 3 rebounds. Now, the sophomore from Dallas has also recorded a dozen steals through 8 contests. Total-wise, 3 out of Hawaii's last 5 games stayed under the posted total. 6-2 to the under in their last 8 meetings with UCI. And speaking of the Anteaters, their last 2 straight stayed under the total themselves. 4-3 to the under in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Hawaii Rainbow Warriors plus 2 and the under 137.5. And with that, guys, we are going to dive into our quick pick recap, once again brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 2-0 in our last two extra daily picks on that website. I like Richmond -1 over 145, Buffalo -3 under 160, Coastal Carolina -2 over 142, Iowa +2 under 161.5, Wright State -14 over 146, Colorado State +2.5 over 145. Before I give you our next and final matchup for the show, one final reminder that you can access today's extra daily pick on Patreon for just $2.99 by clicking the link in the description section below. Please feel free to smash the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. You can also subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. I'm going to lean toward the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors +2 and the under 137.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs to our top 10 commenters over the past couple of days. Shout out to Peter Shadow, Will Evans, Jesus Iracheta, D Mac, DJ Wavy, Sports Gambling Daily, Carlos Lacerda, Harry Jackson, Ant Ruga, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, Bryant Dela Cruz. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. One thing real quick I want to, I already told you at the middle of the video, but once again, guys, a lot of folks, when they sign up for Patreon, good amount of them sign up for that board member package. And what they do is, when you get the board member package, you get picks every single day through the end of the month. You get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But you get access to all the picks that I give out on Patreon. And so what the board members do is each pick that I give that day, they just parlay them all. So if I give like 5 picks, in 5 different packages, they get access to all that information, and they just do a big 5-game parlay. So I don't recommend that. Also, another way that people use the website too, some guys go on there and they take every pick I give them. Other guys kind of compare their picks to the picks I give out, and other guys just straight fade them. And that's okay too. I mean, you paid, so you can do whatever you want. Some guys, they'll take like a hot package, like if there's a tier and I'm like 6-1 in my last 7, they'll just tail it. And then other guys will get on there and they'll see that I'm like, 1 for 8 my last 9 in a particular membership, which doesn't happen a lot, but they'll just continue to pound it and just fade me. So it really doesn't matter. There's a lot of different ways you can use it, but figured I'd throw that out there for you guys. But anyway, another quick reminder, we bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. I say that in every single video at the end. And also, guys, all the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase here today. So if you end up getting the $4.99 package, all the cheaper memberships are free. Now, if you get the $1.99 package, there's no memberships cheaper than that. So you just get the $1.99 pick, and that's it. But if you get the $4.99 package or any other membership, all the cheaper packages are included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.